You say you don't understand her, but I ask you this: have you ever truly tried to understand her, not with your mind, but with your soul? Perhaps you've failed many times to grasp her moods, her strength, her longing. Perhaps you've admired what you couldn't comprehend or fought what you couldn't control. Perhaps you believed you understood her because you listened carefully, because you loved. And yet, deep within you, there's that quiet sense, something slipping away. Something that won't be captured by definitions, that resists the grip of argument. Rudolf Steiner once said, "You will never attain true knowledge of the world unless you learn to think with your heart." And perhaps that's where the misunderstanding begins. You try to recognize women with your intellect, with categories, images, theories, but the feminine pole of existence, as Steiner described it, is not an object for analysis. It is a mystery of becoming. She is not what you want to see in her. She is what seeks to be revealed through her. And that's where the tremor begins. In an age so desperate for clarity, for definitions and structures, she brings you another message, the message of transformation, of depth, of inner birth. But what if all your efforts to understand her are merely a mirror for your own fear of being truly touched? What if it isn't about her at all, but about you? Because the feminine in life, whether in the woman before you or in the depths of your own soul, does not ask for understanding, but for attunement. Not for control, but for surrender. Not for judgment, but for presence. And perhaps that's what you feared. Because what happens to you when you let go of your concepts? Who are you when you no longer know how she works? So let me ask you again, have you ever paused, truly paused, in her pain? In her intuition? In that which she doesn't say, but which speaks through her eyes? Have you ever asked yourself what it does to you when she laughs, when she falls silent, when she walks away? Have you ever truly felt it, or only explained it? Perhaps already something is stirring in you. Something you can't name, but that leaves you breathless. Stay here, because in a moment you'll hear something you may never have learned, but have always known deep down. Stay until the end of this video. Not for me, for you, because I'm going to show you why the woman in your life, or within yourself, is not here to be understood, but to transform you. And if something in you is touched by this, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell. Not because you should follow, but because maybe, just maybe, you've found something that calls you home. You see, Rudolf Steiner often said, "There is no true knowing without love." And this love is not the sentimental feeling you know from films. It is the capacity to connect with the essence behind all appearances. The woman, not as biological gender, but as a soul spiritual principle, carries within her the mystery of incarnation, the creative condensation of spirit. Her soul is receptive, not passive. She receives because she can hold and transform the divine within her. She is not the other, she is the gateway to your own unconscious. If you think you can understand her without understanding yourself, you deceive yourself. If you believe you can analyze her without penetrating your own depths, you've missed the point. Because in truth, every encounter with a woman is a test of your own maturity, not your cleverness. Your maturity. How do you respond to her changes? Her depth, her chaos, her creative force that gives birth not only biologically, but in the soul. Can you hold that? Not in your arms, but in your awareness. Steiner might have said, "A man must rise to spirit through knowledge." A woman is already connected to it through feeling, not because she is more, but because her path is different. You can take that as a provocation, or as an invitation. Because what if you're not meant to be the one who knows in this relationship, but the one becoming? What if she doesn't want to be understood at all? What if her being is not there to be deciphered by you, but to remind you of what you've long forgotten? The feminine cannot be explained. It can only be felt. It is not an object you can observe. It is a field you must enter when you are ready to lose yourself, in order to find yourself anew. And that is where the real journey begins. Steiner once said something to the effect of, "A person's soul reveals itself in how they relate to the other gender." And this meeting between man and woman is not merely social or psychological, it is a spiritual event. In every true gaze, in every real touch, there is a movement between worlds, an invitation to the alchemy of consciousness. But what do? We strip the mystery of its magic. We try to squeeze the woman into roles, mother, lover, sister, friend, into strong or weak, emotional or rational. We judge what we cannot grasp. We draw boundaries where we ought to cross them. Because deep inside us lies the fear of the formless, of that which does not reflect us, but transforms us. The woman as being does not confront you with her, but with yourself. She does not bring you warmth or longing alone. She brings you your shadows, your indecision, your insecurity, your deepest truth. So now listen closely. When you meet a woman, truly meet her, she will touch something in you that you cannot steer, cannot defend. Her mere presence may be enough to awaken a memory in you older than your thinking. She can lead you into worlds that no map can chart, but only if you are willing to lay down your armor. It is not your body she asks for, not even your mind. It is your willingness to open yourself inwardly. And that does not mean becoming weak. It means being strong enough to be vulnerable, to feel what you usually try to hide, to step into a sacred space with her or with the feminine within you, where nothing is controllable, but everything is real. Rudolf Steiner often spoke of how the future of humanity depends on the awakening of the spiritual within us, not as abstract thought, but as living experience. And the feminine, in its cosmic dimension, is a bearer of this experience. It is not the opposite sex. It is the opposite principle, the principle of inwardness, of transformation, of soul birth. That is why a woman is not here to affirm you. She is here to remind you. She doesn't ask, "What can you give me?" She asks, often without words, "What do you dare to be?" And you? What do you give her? Your strength? Your protection? Your clarity? Or your true self? If you only give what you think you should, she'll nod politely. But if you give what you are, naked, honest, whole, she will see you. And maybe, just maybe, she'll reveal a piece of her mystery to you. Not as a reward, but because you are ready to be human. Nothing more, and nothing less. There is a moment many men never notice. And yet, it decides everything. It is the moment a woman feels, inwardly, "You're not just hearing what I say, you're hearing who I am." And you know what? That has nothing to do with perfect words or romantic gestures. It is seeing without agenda, dwelling without control, being there without taking, proving, or asking. Rudolf Steiner said something along the lines of, "True knowledge arises where thinking and love are interwoven." That means you could read 1,000 books about women. You could study psychology, hormones, biographies. And still, you'll never truly know her essence unless you're willing to think with your heart, unless you allow her to touch something in you that lies beyond your knowledge, because she doesn't test your intelligence. She tests your presence. She senses whether you are there, not just physically, but with your soul, whether you are inwardly present with everything you are. And that's uncomfortable, because it means you must show yourself, not strong, not right, but real. Do you understand? It's not about understanding her. It's about accepting the invitation she brings into your life, the invitation to transformation, to initiation, to maturity. Because the feminine is not something you can possess. It is a gate to the part of you that is not yet born. And if that thought stirs something in you, a restlessness, a knowing, a memory, then share it. Not for me, for you. Leave a comment with what reached you. And if you want to keep exploring these soul conversations, subscribe and activate the bell. Because the path doesn't begin when you understand everything. It begins when you're ready to be transformed. And the woman, she is not the destination. She is the doorway.